Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the Chuck Bennon Memorial Field in Pickford. Round 2 of the MHSAA 8-player Division I playoffs. A Saturday afternoon showdown between two of the very best in the northern half of the state and two teams that have already seen each other once this year. It's the Pickford Panthers, 8-2 overall. They're the number 1 seed here in the regional, and the Norway Knights, who were the number 2 seed, as both teams won hard-fought contest in week number 1, ready to go now. Somebody will claim a regional championship, punch their ticket to the semifinals. Dan Hardenbrook, the coach, Jeff Puckett, glad to have you along here on what is shaping up to be quite the Saturday here in early November. And, Coach, we're expecting one heck of a ball game here this afternoon.
We sure are, Dano. I tell you, I was thinking about it. It's quite a change in the weather. We started this season in shorts and T-shirts, hot in the press box, sweating it out. And next thing you know, it's November, and we're bundled up like a couple of Eskimos here in the press box.
Not our first rodeo. We came prepared. We're shedding layers and getting ready. And the action is about ready to heat up on the field. The Panthers and the Knights have played once already earlier this season. Pickford took that contest, and as part of the shakeup in the E.U.P polls that week, they were number 1 and number 2. Way back, though, that game October 6th, and it was a 40-18 win, but a close contest, 18-12 at the half. Pickford came out 16-0 in the third, tacked one more on late, and cruised to the victory. But a lot has changed since that matchup, which came way back in week number 5 or 6.
What gets you to the playoffs and through the playoffs is how much you improve, Dano. We've seen it over and over and over. Teams who come out screaming and yet don't practice the way they need to practice, execute the way they need to execute, and get themselves better every single week. And I think these two teams have done that, gotten better every single week.
And Pickford stepped on the gas in the second half last week against Rudyard. It was a mess over here. Much better conditions tonight, dry, mid to upper 40s here as we get ready to kick this thing off. What would be in between the hashes pretty tore up. We saw that when we were here for St. Ignace. The edges looked pretty good, and it was wet. It was slick when we came over here for the Pickford St. Ignace game. You thought that limited what the Panthers were able to do, gave St. Ignace a chance in that ball game. We know Norway likes to throw the ball. They did it their first matchup against Pickford, did it a lot against Newberry in their opening round win last week. What are you expecting to see from these two offenses with a calm wind and a sunny day here in Pickford?
Well, I think we'll see exactly that, Dano. I think you're going to see Pickford get behind their shoulder pads and run the football like they do, try and get Story loose and try and have him hammer into the middle. Norway with their throwing game, why would you change it? What's got you here, and it's what's going to get you to the next level.
Should be a pretty good contest.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the crowd. Crowd's rolling in, lots of Norway people. And, of course, your purple and white faithful Pickford Panther fans are here. Getting ready for the anthem here.
They're going to do lineups first. So we'll go with keys to the game and players to watch real quick. Who do you have your eye on here in this one?
Well, for Pickford, it's got to be Story. He's got to have the game that we know he can have, that we saw him have in Newberry. His offensive line has to come out and be who they are, get on somebody and stay on somebody. And they're well coached. We know that.
Josh Rader
and Jardy Kangas, best in the business right there. You go over to Norway, Scott Pop, lots of experience, lots of football behind him. We're going to see them also well coached. And we saw a breakout player last week,
33,
and Alex Ortman, who hadn't been the breakout guy, but Newberry took away the other receiver, and Ortman rose to the occasion.
That's right. Caught 6 touchdown passes and helped lead the way. Ortman has steadily gotten more comfortable. He took over midway through the season when Wyatt Spade, the star wide receiver for Norway, went down with a torn ACL. Ian Pop was the guy that Newberry keyed on. Keep an eye on Cole Byes, the quarterback, and Ian Pop. They can both throw it, but they'll line up side by side. They'll do direct snaps to one or the other. It's like a traditional Wildcat style offense. And Bige last week, I thought at his best game passing of over anything I saw on film. He delivered a really good football on a night that was cold, wet, and windy in Norway.
We're also going to see a hard-hitting football game, Dan. Both of these schools know how to hit. They rough it up. They play rough. You know, Pickford wants to represent the E.U.P. You know, Norway wants to represent the Western U.P. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a war.
We're going to step aside kickoff when we come back with the Panthers and the Knights. It is playoff football on the E.U.P Sports Network.
The things that we do as well as any place you could get it done.
Dr. Benjamin Bryant is proud of the surgery performed at Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and reminds you, if you've put off some procedures because of COVID, chances are the surgery team at Helen Newberry Joy can perform it right here close to home.
We have a very experienced team. I think that our outcomes speak for us in terms of the job that gets done.
The list of procedures available just minutes from home at Helen Newberry Joy is impressive.
Gallbladder surgery is very, very common. We fix hernias. We put ports in. We remove all sorts of other lesions. We do vasectomies here. I don't think the public really knows that.
So if you've been putting off a procedure, it's only a quick phone call away.
I recommend that if they have a primary care doctor, they keep that doctor in the loop. But all they have to do is either call their doctor's office or call my office and ask to be scheduled, and they get scheduled.
Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center. Your health, our passion.
It's a huge inventory reduction sale at Newberry Motors. Get a 2014 Chevy Silverado Crew 4x4 with 152,000 miles for only $19,995 or best offer. With over $2 million in pre-owned late model inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs that gotta go. It's a huge inventory reduction sale happening now at Newberry Motors, your locally owned family-run dealer. Call 906-293-5104 or find us on South M123 in Newberry.
Dan Hardebrook, the coach Jeff Puckett, glad to have you along. Anthem is complete. Teams getting their final instructions before we get ready to kick this thing off. And before we do, just a reminder that due to MHSAA broadcast regulations, live video of on-field action is not permitted. That's exclusive property of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and the NFHS Network. A pair of 8-2 teams going at it here in this one. Winner advances to the semifinals where they will see Indian River Inland Lakes, the Bulldogs, beating St. Ignace.
Pickford won the toss, Norway won the toss, Daniel, and elected to receive. Pickford to kick.
Deep back. Oh, high. Booming kick towards the sideline. Checks up at about the 26. Spin off. And a broken tackle. Ian Pop, the left side, gets the Knights going. They'll take over 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. If Pickford pulls it out today, they would be the home team for that semifinal showdown. If Norway were to pull off the victory, they would go to Indian River Inland Lakes in a game next weekend for a spot at the Superior Dome. We are 2 weeks away from Championship Saturday. Norway going left to right. If you've been here to the Bennon Field, they're headed towards the scoreboard, away from the school in the parking lot. And some confusion early on as
trying to get the spot that looks like change of balls.
They're right in the middle.
Pickford in that 4-man front.
Yep, they're going to spread out their corners. 2 receivers, 1 to each side for Bige. They'll go motion, a nice little crackdown block, and it's Pop on the outside. Gets the right corner out of bounds. It's enough for a first down, a gain of 13. Coach, they motion their split out from the right side, coming left. He stops right before he gets to the line, and he just cracks down and walls off the outside of the Pickford defense.
Could have made a much bigger gain if it wasn't for McConkey for Pickford to be there to force them out of bounds. A nice gain and a first down for the Knights.
Ball is at the 45. Snap here. They'll go to Pop again. Little cutback counter, and he's flipped up Good open field tackle there. 20 for the Panthers coming in, and Gunnar Bennon, who is a guy we didn't get to talk about in pregame, but you talk about breakout performances. He's had a few over the past few weeks.
Good, hard-nosed, tough runner, quick, and a good football sense, that's for sure. Nice tackle there by Bennon.
Ball is just shy of midfield, 48-yard line, Norway side still. They'll go unbalanced line up front, one receiver each way. Motion man, again, same thing. They're going to crack down. He goes second level on the draw, and Ian Pop, who was neutralized by Newberry's Matthew Rahali, the Great Lakes 8 East Player of the Year last week, is making up for it early here as Pop is the man getting the call early on for the Knights.
Pop freight train McConkey, but McConkey was tough enough to hang on and make the tackle, or that could have been a bigger gain. Norway executing very well right now, Dan.
One thing Norway did last week is they just split Pop out wide to pull Rahali out of the box, or used him as a decoy to set up Ortman. And how about the Panthers?
Same play the other way.
Raider, Maciag, all in there. Nice job flowing to the football.
Big
Ian
play
Brown,
by
not
Maciag to come in and put his face on the runner, and then help came and mopped it up. Leaves just a short gain, if any, for the Knights.
Second down and 11. Ball is at the 37-yard line. You can see it there. Our scoreboard shot here at the Bennon Field. 10:28 to go. Opening drive of the contest for the Knights. They bring Ortman in a little bit tighter. Motion here. Now they turn that little crack block into a drag pass off the mark by Cole Bige, and that is incomplete. Third and long now. So the old bend but don't break philosophy for Coach Kangas in that defense, and he's hoping that they can come up here. I would think Norway was very aggressive on fourth down last week, that this would be two down territory for them, Coach.
Eli McDonald had to get on his horse right there to try to cover that receiver coming across. He faked the crackback, took off across in front of the linebackers, but McDonald jumped him. The ball thrown just a little bit behind him.
Everything Norway wants to do is to suck you in and then hit you deep. Bige.
Safety is 15 yards deep.
Little play fake to Pop. They're going deep. They want Ortman. Well covered. Good job there. It's Bennon and Maciag. Nice little over the top. Their safeties look like they're playing a deep zone, and that worked well. And it's fourth down and 11 for a Norway Knights team.
Strong pass blocking up front for the Knights. Norway's got to figure out a way to get a little bit more pressure on him. And they had to hold up a little bit because of the success they've been having with that play-action running game.
Talk about close games and talented teams and hard-fought matchups. Man, what a play that was on first down. That loss of one doesn't seem very big at the time, but it snowballs into something here for the Panthers.
Brings up fourth down and 11.
They're going to drop a man back into coverage. Buys a roll on the boot. Nobody's open. Great coverage by the Panthers. He breaks away. Wrapped up finally, and the Panthers will get it back. A little scramble for a gain of about 5. Great coverage there.
Seth Miller, a great defensive line play, had him trapped but let him go, but didn't give up on the play and ran him down in the middle of the field.
Gunnar Bennon, Eli McDonald finally chase him down, but Maciag, another great job. He just had a really good drive and pass coverage for the Panthers.
Let's see what Pickford brings now and see what they can do offensively on their fourth series.
Wing left, double wing left here. Panthers headed towards the parking lot. Low snap, scooped up Story. Left
Here he
side.
comes.
He's
He's
got
outside.
room. Oh, man.
A
and
nice
Pop,
gain by Story.
great job there. It's going to be close to a first down.
I got to believe we're going to see Pop and Story running at each other a bunch today, Dano.
Second and 9 coming up. Nice start there for the Panthers.
Solid blocking and matchup by these Pickford Panthers offensive line.
Now we'll flip it. 2 guys to the right side. One thing you got to watch eventually is that counter and that shovel pass back.
Five-man front.
Maciag and
Maciag like a rocket.
that's
He
through
killed
for
it,
Story. Maciag was lined up as a wing with Bennon. Those aren't two very big guys, but they're quick off the ball, coach, and they're creating lanes for Story.
They sure are, and Story just flashed it up. And
Normally, in past years, Pickford's had a pretty good 1-2 tandem with that quarterback wingback option, but more speed this year to help clear the way for Story, who is over 20 total touchdowns rushing on the season coming into this contest.
same formation, that double wing right.
Oh,
They cross
shovel
back
pass
in the
there.
inside, kick out and block down.
Good job as they wrap up
But
Bennon.
Norway covered it pretty well.
71, Maddox Birkland, 6'1", 250, only a sophomore. That's a lot of man, and he was in there to wrap them up.
Him along with Cazzola, another sophomore who's 6 foot 220. They got some beef along that front line. Pickford, double wing left, Story in the backfield. The snap, power sweep to the left of Story. Double lead.
Oh,
Norway stuffs it this time, stretches it out, and help arrives for a loss here for the Panthers.
the Western U.P. name, if I've ever seen one, Andrew Howdamaki. Tommy Story coming into the game today. 1,649 yards rushing, 28 TDs. Bennon not bad, 646 with 12. They do a lot of work on the ground, but Story also 11 touchdowns passing to just 3 interceptions. He is one of the top all-purpose guys in the state of Michigan. The
Definitely
Great
an
Lakes State
all-around player, Daniel.
East Offensive Player of the Year.
5-man front still for Norway, daring them to throw.
Oh,
Story
pulls it back.
fakes the run, stops, picks it
Maciak.
up, throws the boot. But Maciak trips.
Steps out of bounds, tripped by the sideline.
Not before he picked up about 7 yards, Daniel.
Nice little play there. They're lining up the two wings to the wide side, just falling behind him, and Story just pops back up. His pad level's so good that he sells run, just pops up with a little floater, landed right in Maciak's mitts, but he tripped up, and now a 4th and 2.
He sold it well, and 7 Norway Knights came up. The safety stayed back, but he was in the middle of the field, and the little out was open on kind of a misdirected boot play. I like that play. I hope we see it again.
They're going to spread 2 out wide. That's Maciak. And
Norway
Bennon.
still loads the box.
Shotgun all alone for Story.
Daring to throw over their head. Story
Got it.
slams in the middle. I think he's got it, Daniel.
You are almost right on the sticks here.
I think he's good enough.
Down
and
to
they
the
say
41.
close enough. That's going to be a first down.
Yep. Got to be. And it is.
Good,
First
hard
down.
running by Story. Big 43, Carter Cazzola, the sophomore, came up and put it on him, but it wasn't enough, and Story gets the first down by getting his butt behind his shoulder pads.
Two pretty evenly matched teams, and we've seen an evenly matched first quarter, no score, 7:44 to go.
Same formation.
Difference right now, Panthers convert their 4th down where Norway could not. Same play back the other way.
Story
Straight
again.
out, bounces off a guy.
He busts out.
Free.
He
Second
could be.
level.
He could be, Daniel.
Drunk
Right down to the 10. Wow, I thought he was going to break it, Dan.
From behind, just reaching up and grabbing the collar of the jersey. At that point, you're willing to risk a penalty, but he didn't get the pads. First down for Story, who was the difference maker. No surprise in that first contest.
I got to believe that this offensive line loves blocking for Story because it doesn't have to be a devastating block. You just got to nick a guy and keep working, and Story's going to help you and do the rest.
Single wing now with the receiver split wide. Different look here for the Panthers. 1st and 10 from the 14. There's the shovel pass, fumble. Picked up. Who's got it? A battle of the big
Now,
fellas.
is that a fumble or an incomplete pass?
It's a fumble.
It's a fumble.
First down. That's a valid argument. And that's what Gart Kangas is saying. So is Josh Rader. See, I did not realize that that's a shovel pass until after the Newberry game. It looks like a quick pitch.
They're going to talk about it. Make sure they get it right. See what they saw.
They just bring Bennon or Maciak back across the middle. And because it's an overhand flip and not an underhand flip.
And they've had success with that. I know when they played Newberry, they had great success with it.
First down.
Right. They're ruling it a fumble. Now Pickford moved the ball on that drive. Bang, bang, bang down the field. They can't hang their heads at all. They got to play tough defensive here and get that football back.
Josh Rader and guard Kangas are
They
absolutely
are not
livid.
happy. Rader's stomping a little bit. Now he squats down.
So the Knights take
Taking
it
deep
over.
breaths.
19-yard line. A rare mistake for the Panthers deep in territory. Got to watch the wheel here for Pop. Pickford didn't bite. Nobody went with him.
Nobody
Pop
went with the
motioned
motion.
out, which last week Newberry was bumping all the motion. And Pickford, maybe they saw that. They said, we're staying
We're
home
going to stick.
because now we're 8-on-7, and they just blow that thing up for a loss of 3.
And Andrew Hotamaki, the junior, 5'11", 175, gets wrapped up and stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. And actually, it's about a 3 or 4 yard loss, Daniel. Pickford fired up on defense. They're going
Pickford
4-man
gets
front.
you in this
3-man front.
situation. They're so good with their personnel.
Here they
so
come.
versatile.
Here they come. Busted through that time.
Pop wrapped up.
Number 22. That's Seth Miller. I like that kid. He plays hard on defense, and he tackles well, Daniel.
Going to be a loss of 5.
Looks like Pickford's getting this figured out a little bit. I'm sure that Norway had those first series of plays scripted, worked on them all week, bang, bang, bang down the field. But now the script's running out. Pickford's realizing what's going on, and we're getting strong play out of the guys up front, Daniel.
Well, Norway's done some things, again, that you didn't see a lot of last week. So if that's the game you're scouting, and of course, you're not going to be able to do a lot of the same things you did in game number 1. If you're Norway, you have to make adjustments. The whistle here. This was one problem the Knights did have last week. They take a ton of time getting the play from the sideline to the huddle, and they got to burn a timeout here early on in this one. 5:18 to go, opening quarter, no score.
And we've seen both offenses drive the field, Daniel. Pickford with the only mistake on what could have been, I think, in my book, ruled as an incomplete pass, but it was ruled as a fumble. And what it was, just as you described, kind of a shuttle pass going forward. But the officials must have thought that it was knocked up in the air by a defensive player.
I think that's what
they saw.
Because it didn't just hit Bennett in the hands or he missed it. Somebody got a piece of that thing.
Yeah.
It popped up in the air, and then it kicked back down off the back of the Pickford offensive line and was still blocking and recovered by the Knights. But now they're in trouble. 3rd and 15, and they are.
Pickford playing their safety a little deeper here.
Going to fake it, try to go back the other side.
Up.
Oh, by
Naked
stumble.
boot, but there's trouble.
Nobody there, incomplete.
He's just getting rid
Out
of
of the
that one.
pocket, and guess who? 22, Miller, on the pressure.
Miller is having a series right there. So it looks like we'll see our first punt.
Cole By just spun the tires in the mud pit.
Wow.
Couldn't get it out there.
Interesting play call.
And I've seen Pickford do a really good job here with their pass coverage. They're not letting anything open up. That first time where they ran the crack back and hit the drag across, that guy's not getting through now since they made that play. Good adjustment by the Panthers. And then over the top right now, MHSAA and Bennon have done a tremendous job taking away anything deep.
Punt.
Oh,
short.
It's not pretty.
That's about 20 yards, maybe 15, and rolls out of bounds, and Pickford's got to like that.
36-yard line, so it only nets about 22, and that's with the bounce and the roll. So Pickford will take over at the 36. No score, and what we thought would be a shootout, the defense is shining bright early on in this one.
They sure are, and Pickford, a huge mistake there, unable to flip the field and play defense with a good punt. They shank it, and Pickford takes over
Look at
on
five-man
the
front.
36-yard line.
Monster here with a 53. They're putting
They
everybody
are filed
in the box.
in. They daring to throw. Story. He's not biting. He's running.
Oh,
Does
great
he get
block.
the edge? What a great block. 42. Ian Brown.
So
he
they
hooked him and
split.
turned him.
They put him in as one of those wings, and man, you talk about hooking a guy.
Yeah, it was like a student body right behind those two wingmen. And Story just takes off wheeling. Brown gets the hook. Everybody else blocking their tails off. He got the corner for a nice gain.
The good old J block and drove him 3/4 of the way to run yard.
Twins left. Story alone in the backfield. Double tight. Snap.
Short. Oh, shovel
Story.
pass. Masiak breaks it right side. 10, 5, lowers his shoulder. Touchdown, Panthers.
Wow, what a play.
Oh, they send everybody out wide to the left. Masiak's in the middle of the formation, and he just sneaks back across, and that's on the money for the Panthers.
It's like the tight end takes a step back and comes across. Yeah. Story takes a step and hands it to him. Story then continues to dive off to the left, and he just rolls off to the right for a huge gain. That's a great play.
And by lining those two guys out wide, Pickford can go big on big there. They just released the backside defensive end. He's not going to catch Masiak.
No.
And then nobody did because they had it walled off again. Pickford doing a great job up front. Story. Spins. He's short.
71 for Norway. Maddox Birkeland, the sophomore, 6'1", 250. Pretty good feet on that kid.
So off the short field, the quick strike, Kale Masiak.
So the Panthers strike first, Dano.
Yep.
6-0, 4:15 left to go here in the first quarter.
And I like Pickford. You can tell they've been here before. Their program, these guys have been here before. They were middle schoolers when they were winning state championships a couple of years ago, but they were all out here the same day, the same time. And it's a culture here in Pickford. But some things have not gone the Panthers' way early on, but they keep the wheels on the cart. They don't freak out.
They don't panic.
And guess what? Josh Rader, yeah, okay, they probably missed on the incomplete fumble call. You know what he told his guys? Forget that. Let's play better.
Let's get in the end zone.
High kickoff again, fielded at the 15. It's Pop, left side. He'll get the corner, steps out of bounds at about the 30-yard line.
Nice kick by Oliver Buchowski. It looks like a sophomore. So Pickford back on defense. Let's see what they can do here about getting the ball back.
Coach, that's one too many letters in a row without a vowel.
That's one of those Polska names like mine, and that's a lot of letters in there. And I'm not very smart to start with. You can ask around, Dan.
Looks like a spoonful of alphabet soup.
That's right. So I forgive them in advance.
All right, see what the Knights do to respond here. 6-0, 4:10 to go. They're going to go single wide with a wing and a back.
Out up, the wheel is open.
They'll go deep, spinning. Receiver just lost it. Intended target there, the younger
Norway
brother.
Begging for a PI call, but not going to get it. Pretty good defense.
Yep. Cole By tries to find younger brother Owen By. That was the play they hit big with Ortman last week because he just kept wheeling out of that jet motion, and he would either go deep post or kind of like a double move, a little in and out,
right there.
A post corner out of that wheel, and the old out and up there almost got
the out
it.
and up with a kind of a shoulder twist.
Trips here. The motion again.
Give.
Flip. Straight ahead.
Pickford defense, stuffer and hell in the middle.
Pop bottled up after a gain of 5. We have not seen Alex Ortman touch the football yet. A week after a career night where he had 6 touchdown catches.
So 3rd down and about 6, Dano, for the Knights. 2:35 to go. Pickford on the board first, leads 6-0.
Pickford's a team that just doesn't let up because they're offensively a team that can grind clock but still score points.
Stunt down in the midhill for the Panthers.
They're bringing some heat.
Here they come.
There it is up the middle.
And they
good
get
pressure by Miller.
Open.
And complete to the sideline.
That pressure did it right there.
I tell you what, Lige has not been able to set his feet yet. And Seth Miller, I don't know what they fed him at breakfast
It was.
today.
I don't know if they give him
But
Wheaties or bacon and
holy
eggs,
smokes.
but he is playing.
Give me some of that and I'll run home.
There you go, Dano. I'm not seeing mistakes, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx them, that I saw in the St. Ignace game. I'm not seeing penalties, missed assignments, fumbles.
Miller almost blocks the punt. Line drive, fielded at the
Oops.
20. Bennon slips in the mud,
Trying
goes
to
down.
get a foot in, but a much better punt that time by the Knights.
26-yard line. Alex Ortman, the punter there. 3 minutes to go. 6-0 opening quarter. Our coverage today brought to you by Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and Newberry Motors, proudly serving the Eastern Upper Peninsula. Big thank you to Kevin. Also, Dr. Dake in the Northern Lights Vision Center. Not too far of a trip down the road to St. Ignace from Pickford to see Dr. Dake. He'll take great care of you.
He does my eye stuff and does a great job.
Single receiver split wide, double tight. They're going to go counter.
I'll tackle.
Miller getting a carry. Coach Rader rewarding him for his work, I think, on defense by saying, you know what? You're getting the rock here, chum.
Not a bad run. Picks up almost 5 yards.
And we've seen this throughout the year. We know who the top probably 10 guys in the Eastern U.P. are, but every game it seems like we're seeing a big performance by a second or third guy.
A guy rises to the occasion.
And Miller and MHSAA are the two guys that have emerged early in this one. Snap. Nice little counter back, and they run so tough. Miller, he's going to be closer to a first down. Going to have about 4, maybe 5 to go on
Ian
third
Brown.
down.
Brown is having a good series again with good foot movement on the pull. Comes up and puts on a pretty good block to pick up another 3 yards or so.
It's a long 4.
It is.
33-yard line. They're going to need the 37 for a fresh set of downs. Pickford has shown 3 different sets on 3 different offensive drives. Snap here. Story back to the bread and butter. He's got the first down.
Story following Miller right up the middle. And Miller with a nice block on the linebacker allows Story to get that first down. And Pickford moves the sticks. They're taking time off the clock, keeping Norway's offense off the field. Good things happening right now for the Panthers.
Green formation. Late shift up front defensively.
Story. Same play. Miller up the middle. Gets the block. Story.
Great block.
How about a 15-yard gain?
By Miller.
Did you see the block?
Just leading the way.
Wow, I like that.
Norway guessed there, Coach. They shifted their nose in that 53.
They did.
He's
chose
lined
the wrong
up,
gap.
heads up on the center, and you're right. He chose the wrong gap there. And Miller, that allowed him to get second level, and he's like the guy laying track for the big train.
Why would you run anything else? Run it again, boys. Again.
Man, it's so tough.
Perfect.
He's grabbed at a half a yard and ends up with 5.
Now, you're setting up that little play action pass, Dano.
Yep.
We're going to see it. We're going to see it. They don't throw a lot, but when they do it pretty well.
Well, and we've seen them in some sets too, either take Story out of the ball game or line him up as a blocker for Kyle Rounds. I know Cale MHSAA can throw.
Got
offsides, and he touched it.
What a big play. That's great discipline by the Panthers.
He might get away with it, but he just ended up.
Just freight train the center.
Going to be second and short coming up here. And look how much time's left in the quarter.
Wow.
Pickford was not going to run that play.
No, they were
7/10 of a second left. And Story just gives a quick hard count with a second to go and gets them 5 yards closer in a free play.
Yeah, this one's all free. Story busts it off.
Oh, good
Cuts back to
cutback.
the inside.
Breaks
Keeps
another
going.
tackle. 15 yards down the field again, blocking guys. End of the first quarter. Panthers.
Nice block by Bennon that time. These Panthers are blocking their tails off.
Pickford is on the move. We'll come back. Second quarter action. FM 123 FM and the E.U.P Sports Network.
Are you tired of squinting and straining to see the world around you? Dr. Derek Dake and the team at Northern Lights Vision Center in Newberry is committed to bringing the beauty of clear vision back into your life. Whether you're in need of new eyeglasses or contact lenses, Northern Lights Vision Center has many choices to choose from. Say goodbye to blurry vision and hello to a world of clarity and color. Your journey to a clearer vision starts with a simple call by calling 906-291-2015 to set up an appointment. Let Northern Lights Vision Center light up your world.
The Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis is your award-winning Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Can-Am dealer. From the water to the trails, don't take your next trip without visiting the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis. From sales and service to rentals and accessories, the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis has everything you need for your next great adventure. The Fish and Hunt Shop on Main Street in Curtis or online at fishandhuntshop.com.
All right, we are back at the Bennon Memorial Field here in Pickford. Panthers lead at 6-0, driving just outside the red zone. And Story skips, hops, jumps. He does just about everything. And again, you said it in our quarter break up here in the booth. Pickford just got to keep doing what they're doing right now. Their execution has gotten them to this point in the dance.
Keep the mistakes to a minimum. We're here with their film guy, Tom Tesmer, and Tom was talking about these kids, getting some insight to all these young men, and they just need to keep doing what they're doing. Why would you not run Story in the middle if you're popping off 5-6 yards every carry? Just keep doing it.
Too wide here. They're just clearing an extra man out of the box, and Norway's only sent one guy out there now. They figure they've got to at least play even numbers or +1 with Story in the middle of the box.
Stop that. And the thing is, with that Norway front, this strong Pickford offensive line and getting some blocking out of backs and receivers, if you can get to that second level, they're thin there, and you're going to have nice gains when you get to that second level.
There's some big bodies now. They bring in some extra beef to go to a 40 here so they can cover that outside pass.
Yeah, they pulled them out of that 5-man front.
Story all alone, straight forward,
middle.
just lowers the shoulder to get the first down, and that's a kid making a team play. He could probably go somewhere else, rack up a few more yards, maybe break a touchdown, but he's looking over at the stick, 3rd and inches. Hey, let's get the fresh set of downs.
And we'll go again. That's right.
I'll worry about my numbers later.
That's a kid who's well coached and well disciplined.
His brother was one of the best we've seen in recent years over here. And last week, I was getting reports from the game here against Rudyard while I was in Norway. And they started calling him Big Brother in the second half over here last week.
He's his own guy, I tell you that.
Yep.
Takes off, gets around the left end.
Nice block on the edge again.
Who's blocking out there that time? Bennon, 80.
And that's what I like about Pickford. You know this, man. Some guys who are skill position guys who, or if they're not getting the rock, they're not going to be involved in the play. Might take some off. Pickford, every man is involved in the play.
It's what you do away from the ball. We talk about that a lot, Dana, when teams who are the most successful, their receivers are blocking. Linemen are getting downfield and blocking. That's what happens. You do what you need to do away from the play.
Another new look here. Empty for Story. 2 receivers to the left, 2 tight ends, and a 5-man front. He counters which side. Great block.
Great block by 43?
42.
42. Ian Brown again. Ian Brown
touchdown.
again gets him turned and hooked.
Their J block.
He's just blocking.
Their J block is as good as I have seen from a team all season long.
Man,
right now.
Norway, I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to play tougher. Is the only thing you can do against a block like that and defeat that block.
I don't know what you do.
You just got to play
It's
tougher.
like taking an S10 and trying to ram it into a semi-truck.
That's what it is right now. Pickford again pulling time off the clock.
This is one
Norway's offense off the field.
Biggest, fastest, strongest line units anywhere in the state for Norway, and Pickford's playing their game. Drag pass, back corner, good. Rounds from Story.
It's almost like he fakes that sweep again, stops, throws over their head.
His footwork, underrated. You talk about the strength, you talk about the pad level, but his feet to be able to do that.
Great finesse. Great finesse. Great touch on the pass. And they pick up the 2-point conversion, which you and I both know are huge.
They have decided some of the biggest games, certainly here in the East End, as I give everybody the old earthquake tests.
There you go. Trying to get lined up. Again,
they should just let me show the game.
They should.
And we wouldn't have this
we'd
problem.
We'd be in good shape, but that's not an option for us. But I do hope you're enjoying the broadcast. And Dan Hardbrook, myself, Jeff Puckett, we're here and enjoying a beautiful afternoon. A little chilly, but that's okay. It's November. So to kick for Pickford, Oliver Brukowski.
Can I buy a vowel, Pat?
Not bad.
Pat, can I buy a vowel?
Another good kick.
Right side for Pop.
By Pop.
Oh, he got a nice block there, second level. And Norway's going to have good field position.
They've had good field position every time. Then they run around that end every time.
Oh, and Bai with the run back. My mistake. We're seeing different guys for Norway.
Bai did a nice job. So they'll take over 1st and 10 and see if they can get something going offensively. On their last series, it was all Pickford busting through the line of scrimmage, getting to the backfield.
Couldn't get the passing game going last time. Orbit motion here. They'll go bubble screen. They get it to Ortman. Or no, outside. Not Ortman. It's 27, Bryce Adams.
Tackled by Bennon.
Now, you know what they'll do here off of that?
Sure.
Is they'll suck guys up on that swing pass while the backside is going to come screaming almost diagonal.
Okay.
Yep.
Almost like a deep flag.
Yeah. Yeah, like an inside flag. It's almost a slant break that turns into a post. They just basically go hash to opposite sideline. Give here to Pop. Right side. Pickford up front. Brown, McDonald, Maciag, Raider.
A host of Pickford Panthers. They get to the football. That's just good defense and good pursuit. They're not waiting and saying someone else has made the tackle. They're going to get some.
Again, Panthers trying to earn a home game in the semifinals next week. Inland Lakes knocking off St. Ignace. If Norway wins this one, they would go to Indian River next week in a game that would certainly be Saturday.
Big
and look at them
play.
Rally to the football. 7 guys
they
in
tried
there.
To run that sweep again, Dano, but it was all Pickford. I saw 6 Pickford guys, and all I saw was butts in the back of shoes as they rolled Norway to the ground.
Everybody's like, come on, who's not in the play? Well, that's Owen McConkey and Gunnar Bennon, who had the 2 deep routes taken away.
And they were on their way.
Yeah, they just are trying to make up 40 yards worth of.
Try to get there. So a huge defensive series again for the Panthers.
Bennon back to receive it. Gunnar will chase it down and let it go.
Great punt. Oh, Bennon's head. He surrounds it. Picks it up.
Rolls back in.
Here he comes.
15 cuts back. Makes 2 miss. Now 3. Makes number 4 miss. Big block.
This could be out of
and
bounds.
He spun the wrong way.
So
he spun towards the sideline. If he spins back inside.
That was nothing but having the ball on the 8-yard line But that's picking it
The
up, ball up, and getting it done.
22-yard line. The kid is almost certain that ball sailing out of bounds.
Yeah.
It hops, then kicks back towards the middle of the field. As you said, rolls down to the 8, and you go, oh, no. Well, guess what? They're starting at the 35. Made 4 guys miss, 2 on a juke, 2 more turning the corner, and then he hits the old circle button on the PlayStation controller.
That's right.
Spin move, but gets shoved out of bounds, and he was a step away.
Bennon on the jet sweep. A nice game.
Look at him protect the ball. Nice, solid move there, Bennon. Gain of 7.
Again, who's out in front of him? Seth Miller. Miller's playing like he's 6'2", 250, but he's 5'9", 170.
I tell you, him and Ian Brown.
2 tough kids.
I did not have in the straw poll for the potential player of the game prior to this one.
I did not. And man, they're blocking. They're showing off a little bit right here, and I like it. Story alone in the backfield. Twins to the left. Give. It's that little end round.
MHSAA just tripped up.
Not a bad
into
play.
his own
Close
guy.
to the first down. No, he's a little going to mark him a little short. They get the left-footed spot.
He bounced, Coach.
He sure did.
Landed at the 44-yard line and then landed again at about the 47.
And I hear Girardi Kangas. I hear him up here screaming, "Get off the football." I love these Pickford coaches. Always coaching. Get off the football. Lined up in that double wing set.
I have a feeling where they're going. Hard count again. Low snap.
Middle.
Story.
Look
Great
at that
job.
offensive line move that time.
You know what?
Wow, they got off the ball there.
I got a good look at that. I almost think that's low by design.
Oh, you think
so? He can
stay down.
So he's meeting it right. The snap is at the kneecaps. And I think because he's coming forward on the snap, quick off the ball, he's meeting it low and has already pad
He's
level ready.
There. Certainly could be, Dano, and they've had success with it. And that offensive line moved that line of scrimmage 3 yards.
5:16 to go, second quarter. Be down to 4 next week.
Remember to rethink your drink and pick chocolate milk. Chocolate milk is the official beverage of the.
And I hope we get a chance to follow these Pickford Panthers all the way to the Superior Dome, Dano. I'm not trying to be a homer. I'll call it even. But you know I'm going to root for the E.U.P in this Pickford team. So Norway calls the timeout.
I will say this now, too, regardless of what happens over the next half and change, these two teams aren't going anywhere.
No.
Anytime soon. And guess what?
Look at these lineups.
There was so many sophomores and freshmen.
Sophomores and juniors and JV teams that did well.
These teams right now are slated to be in the same conference next year.
Really?
With the new reconfiguration and the addition of a central conference for the Great Lakes 8.
It is fun football to watch.
Whoa, snap. I shouldn't have talked about it. I should not have said
gets
anything.
on that one.
Covers it up. It'll be a loss of 5. So the new Great Lakes 8 East next year. Get this. Pickford, Norway, St. Ignace, Rudyard, Newberry, and Munising.
Wow. Wow.
5 playoff teams and a team that would have been there if they played in any other
conference
league.
To be in. You want to talk about seeing good football every weekend somewhere.
Norway
that's it.
Says, yeah, we'll play in the East because it was a tougher schedule than what they would have had going to the West. So Brimley is sliding to the Central. I believe it's Rapid River going to the West, and Norway comes East next year.
That's a good move for those schools.
Yeah, it works out better competition-wise for everybody else.
Will we be Division II 8-man, do you think?
Newberry's going to be right around the cutoff.
Okay.
Pickford and Rudyard and St. Ignace would probably still be up. Norway and Newberry are going to be close.
That's some great football to be played. I
Munising
can't wait.
would probably be close. It depends on how many teams come down to
That's
8-man
true.
in the
Yeah.
state and what the cut number becomes.
Yeah. Norway
Timeout,
with their
Norway.
final timeout.
Yeah, so that's going to be an absolute gauntlet.
Wow.
And then so you'll play the 5 teams in your league.
So
And then
Newberry
you'll
will
play-
play those teams.
You'll play a home and away with 2 games against each other.
of the other
division.
conferences.
So you'll play a home and away with the Central 2 games, and then your last 2 games you'll get home and away with the West.
With the West.
So 4 crossovers. Newberry, I know, has Lake Linden on the road.
That's always a good game. You and our last trip to Lake Linden was not
we left
in November.
parts of us up there, yeah. That was a week 1 JV varsity doubleheader, 95 degrees at 11 o'clock in the kickoff for the JV game.
Yeah, I won't forget that game anytime soon.
And we broadcasted from inside a soup can.
It was.
Newberry will have Lake Linden and Superior Central as their away games in the crossovers. Home with Crystal Falls.
Okay.
And home with Ontonagon, I believe. So
great competition throughout. So coming out of the timeout, Pickford in the double wing left, Story alone in the backfield, double tight. Fakes that little end around. Story keeps. Heads around the right end, following the blocking of Ian Brown.
I know Pickford
Him and Raider.
One point they were looking at Kearney. I believe Soup Central. They have Norway in a regular season game here next year with the conference game again. But that was already, they were talking about playing a non-conference game. So I think they might get Crystal too. North Central's going to be in that far west. Going to be fun. High
down.
formation. Jumped offside.
Get him again.
Big play on 4th down. It's Rounds. Comes in. Hard counts it. Nice play there. Pickford just executed so many little things well.
Now that makes your 4th down a little bit better. Let's see if this Pickford Panther offensive line can pick the line of scrimmage up and move it 3 yards like they did last time. Twins left, Daniel. Story alone in the backfield.
Changes the whole playbook.
Double
Brings it
tight.
all back into play.
And that offensive line digs in.
Only 6 in the box.
Snap.
Oh, what a
Story
block by
tackle.
Brown.
Does he have enough, Daniel?
Lost his footing. Going to be close.
Got to ask Tim this time, and he get it.
They got it. First down.
First down.
By the nose of the ball.
All right, Pickford continues to drive. I don't know what the time of possession is, but I know Pickford leads it, Daniel.
3:30 to go here before the half. 14-0. We've seen 5 different offensive looks here in the first half from the Panthers. Once Norway figures something out or slows something down, Coach Raider pulls another card out of the deck.
Double Wayne to the right.
Shuffle, Macy
Shuttle pass.
Or Bennon, rather.
And stuff.
Yep, they just got blown back first time tonight. The Newberry 2 guys that we know quite well, Ethan Pavey and Jude Taylor, they told Joe Austin, Newberry's coach last week, that they haven't remembered playing a line so quick and so strong as Norway's was last week. And the Knights showed that strength and quickness there, pushing it back in a loss of 2.
So double Wainwright, Story alone in the backfield, double tight. 2nd and 12. The snap. Story dives off right tackle. Held up after a short gain.
Berkland with the stop there. He's been tough in the middle of that defensive line. 2:21 to go. Pickford in good shape. Again, they can grind. You think they're grinding time, but they still eat up yards at the same time, where a lot of teams got to get super conservative or go with a different style of football if they want to slow it down. They just keep doing what they're doing, man.
Twins left this time, still double tight. Story alone. Shotgun snap. Give. Story straight up the middle.
Oh,
And he's tripped up that time by
Wow.
one of the linebackers, number 21, Hayden Amundsen.
hey, just fill a gap, right? When you get blocked, go down.
That's it.
Isn't that an old
That's what they
blocking
say.
technique?
It is. So now we're fourth and about, what do you say, Dano? 7, 6?
I don't know. 6 does it. 6.3.
Can they get him again on a varied count?
They've gone twice with that so far.
Or
One
do you
at the
go on
end
a
of the
short
first.
count this time and try to jump the surprise on them?
They move Pop to the outside here. He's going to help protect sweep, and now the Panthers move.
Pickford a little bit, Ian Brown a little bit anxious that time. So that'll back him up high.
Does it have Miller's size in here?
It does. 5'9", 170.
He's
And
playing
that-
tackle.
And that 170 must be with rocks in his pockets because he
playing
doesn't look no
tackle.
170. Playing tackle and playing it
Reminds you of
well.
Jeff Olson's Ishpeming teams from a handful of years ago that everybody was about 5'5" and 140 pounds.
And fast
And they
and
would just
strong.
wear the heck out of you.
Yeah.
Miller lining up as the tackle.
So timeout Pickford.
Oh, Clemson was up on Notre Dame 24-9 at the half.
24-9 against the Irish.
Is on top of the school down south.
Rutgers leads those,
9-7.
that terrible school down south, whose name I won't mention, Dano.
Any day that Notre Dame and I
Ooh,
almost said it.
They had called timeout before
Oh, okay.
before the false start. Okay.
All right.
So that flag's picked up and still leaves fourth, and I don't think 5 does it either, Dano. More like 6. Twins
Story
to the left, double tight, Story alone, shotgun in the backfield.
just gave a signal to his outside guys.
Straight
He's looking
drop
to
back.
throw. Oh,
That
great
looks
move.
like a screen, but
Bennett.
it's not.
Post, great coverage by Pop. Oh, he stepped right in front of it. Oh, 7. Not Pop. That's Owen by the younger brother.
Norway takes over on downs.
A good route by Bennon and an even better closeout there to make up for it.
So Norway stiffens and gets the stop. They're back on offense, trying to get it on the board before the end of the half here. 59.9 to go is all, Dano.
And they have not used their big pass attack. And what do we got here?
The side judge calls somebody or something. Mouthpiece or helmet
Ball.
strap.
Ball was wrong.
Ball not right. Okay.
So they bump it up. They flip it over. Not even a full yard.
But they're happy, so I'm happy.
There's the play fake.
There's that.
Oh, the drag. Go.
Drag.
Through the wickets. Edmondson.
One of those linebackers have to step up and forearm him coming across the middle. It's not like in college or pros where you can't hit him after 5 yards. You can whoop him as long as the ball isn't in the air.
And again, Alex Ortman, 6 touchdowns, had over 10 catches, over 300 yards. His only touch today has been on a punt.
Spread out. Twins left, flanker off to the right. One back in the backfield with Pop.
Plenty of time. Good coverage. Turns and throws. Got to be grounding, right?
Well, 21 was there.
Yep.
They may let that go.
The old discus throw.
He was wrapped up.
Great coverage again.
And I don't know if it was Rader or Miller who had him. I think it was Miller.
And then you had Maciak, Bennon.
Help's coming with
And
those guys in
McConkey
a hurry.
on the deep end.
48.6 seconds to
They're
go.
going to go empty. 2 receivers each way. Now some confusion.
3rd and 10.
Pickford going to just
Pickford
man
has
up here.
timeouts. Cross across the middle.
Caught. Room. Ortman cuts back inside the 40 to the 33-yard line.
Big tackle by Cale Macy.
They crisscrossed everybody there. Pickford tried to man up, and you can't switch 3.
And Macy just couldn't stay with him.
On the 34-yard line.
Pickford trying to get in. 33 seconds to go. No timeouts.
By a look, deep ball.
Open.
1-on-1. McConkey never touched him. Good coverage there. Used the sideline as an extra defender.
Their one receiver off there to the right. They sent him kind of on a fade route.
Yep.
And almost get it to him.
Don't get beat deep, right? Nobody get by you. McConkey
Pretty good
just
coverage by McConkey.
steered him to the sideline.
Well, you know this defensive line is going to have their ears pinned back and coming after them. 27.5 seconds to go. No timeouts for Norway. 2nd and 10. The Panthers lead 14-0 and have dominated this first half.
Snap. Good pickup. Short throw. Pop to the 20. Stutter step out of bounds at the 15-yard line. 19.3 to go.
With another crossing route across the middle.
We're confused a bit in the middle now.
We're having trouble switching.
I don't know if we're going to have to take a timeout to get this straightened out.
15-yard line.
Stop a little bit of this momentum that
Yep.
Norway's picking up here.
They cross so much. They leave the one isolated deep route, but everything else is crossing, and that's where we're getting. Like you said, a linebacker's got to step up and take that drag route away.
Yeah.
And then your safeties and your outside backers don't have to worry about a switch and confusion and a timeout.
There's the timeout for Pickford.
Must have heard you talking. Josh Rader coaching with the earbuds in, listening to Dan and Coach on E.U.P Sports Network, Facebook and YouTube today. Again, thanks for joining us. A reminder that due to the MHSAA broadcast regulations, live video of tournament action not permitted. Tuesday, I'll be in Brimley, girls regional semifinal in Division 4. The last 2 teams from the E.U.P and girls volleyball will meet up as Newberry slays the beast from Rudyard the other night.
Huge win.
That was here in Pickford. I've been here 4 times in 6 days. I'm
Your
thinking
car's
about
on
staying.
automatic pilot. You might as well rent a house over here, Dan.
Anybody got a good realtor?
There you go.
I told Susan Eddington just throw a cot up here,
Yeah, you'd be fine.
and I would survive.
You've slept in worse.
But the Lady Indians and the Lady Saints will play in Brimley 6 o'clock on Tuesday. Play-by-play coverage here
Here
on
we
the
go.
E.U.P Sports Network. Empty for the night.
Twins left. One
They'll go
receiver
deep.
right.
Post route or flag, jump ball, touchdown. Ian Pop,
Touchdown.
what a catch. Climbs the ladder, and he just ran a deep flag to the back pylon. And with 59 seconds to go, they took over, and it takes them 46 to go the length of the field. And the Knights, they did it last week, scored in the final seconds against Newberry to swing momentum back their way, and they needed that one. Something big going into the locker
sure did.
room. They got Ortman going on that drive. Bide looked way more comfortable throwing the football. Protection was better, and the Knights will look for 2.
Motion.
Little crack. Oh, ran the out. Oh, nice play call, and it's good for Norway. So they crack that guy down and then send the tight end
Oh,
on
behind him.
just a little out route.
And he's wide open. Pickford doesn't have the answer to that yet,
Yep.
but they'll have halftime to think about it.
Hayden Edmondson with the 2-point conversion.
I tell you, Dan, it's those last 4 minutes of the first half.
The swing.
The first
Yep.
4 minutes of the second half.
It's
the
almost
most
like it's
important
its own
minutes in
quarter.
football. And with 4 minutes to go, Norway steps up,
Yep.
stops Pickford as they're down at about towards the 20-yard line. 50-some seconds to go, drive the field, get one in with the extra point, 14-8 Pickford. So Norway gets the kickoff for the first time to Pickford here.
I wouldn't count them out with 13 seconds either.
I wouldn't either. Could happen right here, right
now. Some of the stuff we've seen this year.
Out of this Pickford team.
I started do a lot of things. Games as a young high schooler. You remember me scurrying around the hallways.
I do.
In 2005. And this is one of the best years of high school football I can remember seeing. Oh, mishandled at the 20. Bennon wrapped up there. Blockers couldn't hold for that long. 8.8 to go.
You still have one timeout. Do you run the trap in the middle, run the clock out, going ahead 14-8? If it's me, that's what I do. No need to do anything crazy here. You get the ball in the second half.
He's going to kneel on it. Guard Kangish just went down and told the side judge, who creeps in. And there it is. We are at the half. Panthers hold early. Norway strikes late. Well, we knew it'd be a battle. We thought that it would be a little bit more high scoring, but our over-unders haven't been too great this season.
And it's not over yet, Dano.
And it
could blow up in the second half.
Got plenty of more action coming. Before we break for the half, we remind you the broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and the E.U.P Sports Network. No reproduction, retransmission, other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the MHSAA and the E.U.P Sports Network. Now that it's another week without getting sued, we take a break and we go to the half. Pickford on top 14-8 this week in high school sports from the MHSAA, and more just around the corner.
The list of three-time MHSAA Finals champions in girls golf grows by 2, and a perfect season on the tennis court ends with a championship. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Lauren Timpf and Mia Melendez are no strangers to winning golf tournaments, and the pair each captured their third individual girls' Lower Peninsula golf title over the weekend, becoming just the 7th and 8th golfers in MHSAA history to do so. Timpf from Macomb Lutheran North shot a final round 67 to win Division III by 8 strokes. Her performance helped Lutheran North to a third-place overall finish. Grand Rapids Catholic Central finished first. Melendez, a junior from Ann Arbor Green Hills, won her third straight Division IV title by firing a 2-day total of 148, 2 strokes better than the field. Melendez will enter her senior year with a chance to be the first Lower Peninsula girls golfer to win 4 straight titles ever. Lansing Catholic won the team title in Division IV. In Division II, Lauren Davis of Coopersville is your individual champ, while Farmington Hills Mercy repeated as team champ. And in Division I, Elise Fennell of East Kentwood captured medalist honors. Rochester Adams was the top team. For more on all 4 divisions of Lower Peninsula girls golf, make sure you check out MHSAA.com. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the last week. First up, Pickford's Talia Schreiber. She captured the U.P. Division III girls cross-country title and set a D3 cross-country finals record in the process, clocking in at just under 18 minutes and 50 seconds. On the boys' side, Sault Ste. Marie's Gabe Litzner broke 16 minutes in winning the U.P. Division I boys cross-country title. He's just the second runner in the U.P. to ever break 16 minutes. And to Hart's Jose Luis Andaverde. He scored 4 times in a win over Ravenna, giving Hart their first win over the Bulldogs since 1992, their 8th win, which tied a school record, and qualified Hart for the playoffs seniors, for the first time ever.
The year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
Soccer games in the postseason have one big noticeable difference from the regular season. In the postseason, games cannot end in a tie, so the games go to overtime and possibly a shootout. Here's how that works. If a game is tied at the end of regulation, it will go to overtime, which is 2 10-minute periods played in its entirety. There is no sudden death or golden goal winner. If there is a winner at the end of the 20 minutes, that team wins and advances to the next round. If it is still tied, we move to a shootout. In the shootout, the teams alternate taking 5 penalty kicks. If it is still tied after 5 kicks, they each kick until the tie is broken.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, please go to the MHSAA website now to register. How about the season Austin King had on the tennis courts for Midland Dow? The junior ripped through a perfect regular season and backed that up by winning a MHSAA title in Division II at #1 singles. King did all of that without losing a single set the entire season. He ends 37-0 and helped Dow win a second straight team tennis title, their 8th in the last 17 years. In Division I, Bloomfield Hills repeats as the Lower Peninsula Boys champs. Bloomfield Hills Cranbrook Kingswood won it all in Division III. And Ann Arbor Green Hills is the champion of Division IV. It's the Griffins' 4th title in the last 6 years. Complete brackets and coverage of all 4 divisions, both team and individual results, are all available online at MHSAA.com. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll see you next week.
the test box. The last electric car meters, I don't know, but lift your glasses, all you have to do is the test box.
The gas station. Where they had popcorn in it.
It's a huge inventory reduction sale at Newberry Motors. Get a 2014 Chevy Silverado Crew 4x4 with 152,000 miles for only $19,995 or best offer. With over $2 million in pre-owned late model inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs that gotta go. It's a huge inventory reduction sale happening now at Newberry Motors, your locally owned family-run dealer. Call 906-293-5104 or find us on South M123 in Newberry.
Are you tired of squinting and straining to see the world around you? Dr. Derek Dake and the team at Northern Lights Vision Center in Newberry is committed to bringing the beauty of clear vision back into your life. Whether you're in need of new eyeglasses or contact lenses, Northern Lights Vision Center has many choices to choose from. Say goodbye to blurry vision and hello to a world of clarity and color. Your journey to a clearer vision starts with a simple call by calling 906-291-2015 to set up an appointment. Let Northern Lights Vision Center light up your world.
Dr. Igor Sedekov is a board-certified dermatologist joining the Helen Newberry Joy team at the Gibson Family Health Clinic.
So the primary focus of me being here is a cancer detection, skin cancer detection in the community and the management of a chronic dermatologic disease.
Some people can be genetically predisposed to skin cancers, while overexposure to sunlight can cause other skin cancers. Dr. Sedekov says sunlight is healthy, but
avoiding blistering sunburn is achieved. A little bit of a tanning is beneficial for maintaining vitamin D. D levels, maintaining mental health, a number of other health conditions. If there is a one-liner that can be paid attention to is avoiding blistering sunburns. That would be the number one priority.
The good news, treatment is close to home.
Approximately 95 to 98% of conditions, the care can be provided locally without the local patients traveling anywhere else.
Make an appointment with Dr. Senikoff today at the Gibson Family Health Clinic. Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center. Your health, our passion.
Able to hold and maintain time of possession almost throughout the first half. Norway came up with that passing game with a minute to go and had great success. I'm sure we're going to see some more of that here in the third quarter, Dan.
Knights kicking off right to left towards the parking lot here in Pickford. 7 up for the Panthers, and it's a short squib kick. Going to get through a lot of room between the second and third level and rolls out of bounds. Panthers probably saw Norway went surprise onside to clinch the game with Newberry last week. They cheated everybody up there. So
they'll take over first and 10, it looks like, from the 35.
Now, last week, both teams, Newberry and Norway, in their regional semifinal.
They're going to kick again.
I was going to say, Norway had Newberry kicked 3 times in a row at one point.
Yep.
Newberry had Norway kicked 2 or 3 times in a row at one point.
If I could get the ball on the 35, I'm taking it.
Again, Pickford will keep 7 up within 20 yards of the football, and then it's Gunnar Bennon 25 yards behind that. 4 in the front, 3 in the second line. Short kick, same thing. All off the face mask and secured.
At about the 44.
Kale Maciag on the hands team. So that works out well for Josh Rader.
It does. Pickford takes over first and 10 at about the 44-yard line. And we'll see what they can do on this drive, see what they've done at halftime, what kind of adjustments they've made. I don't think there's much I'd have done offensively. Our blocking has been solid. Good hard running by Story. And the few times we've had to throw the ball, we've had some success.
Double wing here to the near side, left to right for Pickford towards the scoreboard here on the third. Story straight ahead, and he got met by the big fellas. 71, Birkeland, 44.
44 is Andrew Hatamaki. 5'11", 175 junior. So he picks up 2 for Story, 2nd and 8.
Rounds and Bennon will split wide to the left, double tight. Nobody next to Story in the shotgun, 5 yards off the ball. Pickford just shy of midfield, opening drive of the second half. He's going to go to the weak side. Nobody there. It's just space for Story. Tripped up, but a first down. Right out to the 45 across midfield.
Ian Brown once again is able to hook that in and free Story up around. And he's 1 tackle away from making it a long touchdown run. That's opposite the double wing formation, opposite the power.
One big key for Pickford's been converting those conversions. You mentioned they've got a pretty good chunk of time in terms of possession in the first half. Same
Twins
formation,
right.
Twins right, though. Now they put their strength to the weak side, which is different than the first half.
They run the trap in the middle. He gets a couple.
Good job by Pop to come up, just wraps him around the legs. Another 2-yard gain. Nothing wrong with that, though. Pickford on top, 14-8. They win. They host Inland Lakes in the state semifinals next week. If Norway were to win, they are just 2 spots behind Inland Lakes, so the Bulldogs would get the home game in Indian River. And I'm sure their coaches probably made the trip back up. They're here somewhere in Pickford watching this one.
Double wing left. Story alone in the shotgun. Snap.
Oh,
Power
nice.
sweep to the left. Norway with good pursuit.
Oh, Pop just got hit by his own guy. Good job by Story to bounce it out there. One thing I'm noticing Norway, the weak side guys are playing a little bit more aggressive. You got to be careful with that counter or that comeback on that little shovel pass, but they're getting out there because they know they've been getting walled off on the edge with that J block and that seal.
That also can open up the boot over there again.
That's another one, yep.
Which could be successful. They've got everybody in the box. Darren Pickford to throw again.
Double tight,
1,
double
2,
bug.
3, 4, 5 in the box.
3rd and 8. Snap. Fake the shovel. Great
Story.
lane for Story. He didn't pick inside or outside. Ran into the back of the scrum.
Great defensive play by Owen Bahi to step up, split the offensive lineman, and make a nice tackle on Story. Going to bring up 4th down, Daniel.
Ball at the 40. Norway drive. They credit Wyatt Spade for the tackle. That can't be possible.
So here we go. 8:49 and ticking. Panthers lead 14-8.
It's a full 5. 4th and 5.
Their first drive of the half.
Back in that 50. What does Coach Rader have? And it calls a timeout. Doesn't look happy, Coach.
I don't think he wanted to burn one there.
Was it hard
Couldn't get his guys where he wanted them.
I think that was, he had more plan than hard count there because he went out and met him, called the timeout, and marched right out to the hashes. So Pickford takes the timeout. Close game. Those could be big. Pickford's controlled the pace here in this one, 14-8. Very similar to the last time these two teams played. Tight first half. Pickford was able to bust it open in the second. The big difference in that game, you want to know how even it was, you just scroll through the numbers. 211 to 109 passing in favor of Norway. Time of possession in that ball game was 27 to 23 in minutes for time of possession. So pretty even there. 16 first downs for Pickford, 15 for Norway.
Wow.
The big difference, though, was Pickford had 348 yards rushing to 142 for the Knights.
Slot formation right. Story alone in the backfield in the shotgun.
Fake the shovel.
Takes to Bennon.
Out pass, first down.
Nice play.
Little 7-yard stick route. Story slings the rock.
Thrown back against the motion of the play, just like you had talked about. And they had success there again to bring up a big first down for the Panthers. Ball on the 32. 8:25 and ticking. Panthers up 14-8. They break the huddle and come to the line. Looks like Story is in the backfield. They're in the eye. Double tight.
Story's the up back with Rounds under center.
Norway in that 5-man front.
Oh, nice bounce by
Benny busted outside.
Bennon.
No linebackers there. A big first down.
Pop, good job to save a touchdown.
Well,
They fake to Story and then come to Bennon, the tailback, and a nice run there.
You're going to put that many people in the box. If you can bust through that first level and get to the second level, there's no safety. There's 3 linebackers there. And if you can break one tackle, you're off to the races. A nice pickup for the Panthers. Same formation. Story at the pullback. Double tight in the eye. Quarterback under center. 5-man front for Norway. The snap, reverse pivot. Give off tackle with a lead blocker. Going the other way. A nice gain for Bennett.
Under center and hands it off to Gunnar Bennett.
Rounds played a ton of time at quarterback. He's a senior. Been with this group, was originally a JV quarterback while Story was a grade below him, still in the middle school. Great versatile option, allows you to move Story, give him a break. Rounds, also not afraid to throw the football.
2nd and 6 now for the Panthers. Same formation, out of the eye. Double tight. The snap. Reverse pivot, gives again to the same play off to the right tackle. Spins and twirls and picks up a couple for the Panthers off the right side. Norway stays in that 5-man front. 5-man up, 3 linebackers. I guess you could call the middleman a safety, but he's at linebacker depth, trying to do what they can to stop this running attack by the Pickford Panthers.
Almost half the quarter gone.
6:34 to go, 14-8 Pickford. Norway scored with time running off the clock right at the end of the second quarter. Now Story back to quarterback. 1 man to his left. Split flanker off to the left. Double tight. Story up the middle. Sealed off. 1 man to beat. Shoestring tackle. But it's enough for a first down. Going to bring a first down and goal for the Panthers from, it looks like, maybe the 9-yard line.
Yep, 8-yard line. 1st and goal, and Pickford just starting to impose their will here in this one.
Norway without an answer right now.
Single receiver comes wide to the right. That's Bennon.
Story in the shotgun. 1 man to his right. Snap. Give.
Oh, great block. 2nd level.
Give to number 22, Miller, off the left side for a nice gain. 2nd and 5 now for the Panthers.
Hayden Rader with the trap block there. All E.U.P candidate. All conference, both sides of the ball. Again, only a junior. That's the majority of Pickford's roster.
Same formation. Split right. Story in the backfield. Miller to his left. Double tight.
Pressure coming from the Knights.
Story right up the middle behind Miller, and he's in.
Great job there. Pickford just wins the war of attrition in the trenches, and they brought pressure. Pickford beat him to the spot. And Story marches in.
Just taking the ball from her own 44. Drive, converting on 2 4th downs and getting it done.
Big conversion here to go up by 14. You don't get it, well, then Norway doesn't need one on either of their next 2 scores. Their conversions would be to take the lead and not play to tie.
Let's see what Josh Rader pulls out of his hat here.
Team that went down to the final moments against Newberry and St. Ignace. Double overtime against Rudyard. Pickford knows how crucial these points are.
Double wing left. Story in the backfield. Snap. Rolls right.
There's the pull-up.
Throws. There it is again. Twice in a row they've run that on the PAT, Dan. Twice they've made it.
I don't know how you defend that in a tight box like that. Because if you play back, you know he's just going to run you over.
You got to get your D-line on their horse. They got to get there and make that pressure. Either pressure the throw, force him to run, or get the sack.
22-8 now. And how about that? 7 minutes and change ran off the clock for the Panthers. The crowd
they continue to dominate the time of possession, Daniel. Let's see what Norway can do now that they're going to go on to offense. They're set to receive the kickoff. Big number 89, Oliver Bruchowski, Tim tells me. The 6'4", 160-pound sophomore. He's kicked well so far today.
He's doing a good job high, but still pretty deep. Coverage team's able to get downfield. He'll run up left to right as we bring it to you here from the Bennon Memorial Field.
Another boomer.
That's going to be deep back to the 10-yard line. Coming straight
Bye.
forward. Nice little move to get through out across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Looking for a score, a schedule, or a story? MHSAA.com has you covered with everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. We're great on mobile devices. Makes tournament information even easier to find. Plus, get all the feature stories and finals recaps right on the front page. Check out MHSAA.com. First and 10, 33-yard line, and a key drive, because if Pickford is going to keep this thing 6 or 7 minutes at a time, Norway might only get 2 more cracks.
That's true. Could be a huge defensive series here for the Panthers.
Oh, tried to run the wheel, stumbled.
It's
Deep ball, Ortman over the top, caught it at the 40.
Can he get caught?
Bennon dives, trips him up. Ball comes out. They'll rule him down at the 7-yard line.
Huge play for the Knights.
Oh, they bit on that little up and out.
They did. They built out. They bit on the out. Little shoulder motion by the quarterback. He runs the up, gets behind the defender for a big gain for the Norway Knights.
Ortman, 6 touchdowns last week. That's only his second offensive touch, a run and a catch. But guess what, Coach? He's over 100 total yards again. He doesn't need much. And now the ball at the 7. And you talk big defensive drive. Norway, now they've got to finish the job.
Let's see if Pickford can stiffen here. 4-man front.
There's the crackdown to seal the edge. Little toss sweep. Great job
by the
Panthers.
pursuit by the Panthers.
Oh, they lost him, and he's down to the 3.
Oh,
it would have been no gain at best for Norway, but E.U.P keeps the feet chugging. Down.
Second and goal from the 5.
Nobody spotted it. We'll put it at the 3. That's where I thought it should have been.
3:44 and ticking. Panthers lead 22-8. But Norway on a long play to Ortman.
I'd watch Ortman on a drag here.
Let's see.
Oh, he got jammed.
Got a fumble.
Panthers got it.
Panthers have the ball. They stop the drive down on the 10-yard line. What a defensive play by the Panthers.
McConkey with the recovery. I believe it was Brown who knocked it out.
I think it was Brown.
Wow. Raider with the recovery.
What a defensive play by Pickford.
Oh, outside. Gunnar Bennon, give him credit. He locked up Ortman.
Now can Pickford take this momentum? Drive the field with time.
That was a single man route. Max protection. They wanted one-on-one for Ortman. He gets jammed. Brown punches it out of Bye's hands from behind. And the Panthers at the 5 take over. 1st and 10, looking to ring the bell.
Story dives in the middle.
That's just smash mouth. Old
and
school.
He's still fighting. Looks like he got a couple.
Something out of the 70s right there. Just 2 teams punching each other in the mouth. Story gets a gain of 3. Oh, man.
Coach Rader wants to keep this clock running.
Almost mistake-free football, you said, really, on both sides. Not a lot of penalties today. Oh. That's only 1 turnover now each way. And Pickford, boy, 90 yards worth of grass to work with.
Let's see.
They might keep this thing until next Friday.
It could happen.
Look at Norway pinning their ears back, Coach.
2nd and 6. Story heads around the end.
Oh, great
Makes
block
a nice
out.
Cut inside, and then up for the first down for the Panthers.
Look at Raider, 15 yards down the field. Brown at 10.
What you do away from the ball with this Pickford Panther team.
First down out to the 20.
What a huge play.
To quote the legendary Chris Berman, tick, 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 tick.
Tick, tick, that's for sure. Big number 43 for the Knights. Carter Cazzola, his hands on his knees a little bit. He's dinged a little. Probably a little bit frustrated. 5-man front for the Knights. It's a 5-2 with a split now.
Their linebackers are playing further back now. Story straight ahead. Follows behind Miller.
Another nice
Look
game.
at Miller. Man, oh, man.
Miller just comes rolling out of nowhere, blocking his tail off. And look at that clock, like you said, Dano. As you said, tick, tick, tick. And you know Rader's smart enough to keep that thing running.
8
If he doesn't have to,
versus-
he's not throwing that ball anywhere.
8 versus 8 on the field, but you know it takes a team. Scout team, practice, depth. Pickford
Absolutely.
showing it with those extra guys, those role players. That's an insult to them. I don't always like that term.
This is a different team than we saw on their homecoming.
They're players.
This is the Pickford team that we saw in Newberry.
And you said something when we left here and drove back to Newberry after that game. You go, I wonder if St. Ignace just woke the sleeping giant. You said the next time we see Pickford, it won't look like that.
And it certainly hasn't.
Newberry did it to St. Ignace. Kind of
Yes.
snapped them. St. Ignace was in cruise control.
Probably see
Rudyard
one
did
more
it to
snap here.
Pickford. Snap. Story. Straight ahead.
Plus up the
Lowers
middle,
the
first down
shoulder.
and more.
Look at him
Twisted,
carrying 4.
turning. Fighting. 2 Pickford Panthers behind, pushing the pile. Clock stops for the movement of the chains, but another first down for the Panthers.
And with the big pass play to Ortman by Norway, then the fumble, they have had the ball less than a minute here in the third quarter.
They'll run one more play here before we go to the fourth quarter.
And I think I know what they're doing.
Going to run that split outside there. That takes their safety out of the middle of the field.
We don't have to hire a private investigator to figure that one out.
Give Story stopped at the line of scrimmage, but twists and turns and is helped blocked from behind to make it a gain.
Raider brings him over. That is the end of the third quarter. Pickford is 12 minutes away from punching their ticket to the state semifinals. On top 22-8, fourth quarter when we come back with the E.U.P Sports Network.
The things that we do as well as any place you could get it done.
Dr. Benjamin Bryant is proud of the surgery performed at Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and reminds you, if you've put off some procedures because of COVID, chances are the surgery team at Helen Newberry Joy can perform it right here close to home.
We have a very experienced team. I think that our outcomes speak for us in terms of the job that gets done.
The list of procedures available just minutes from home at Helen Newberry Joy is impressive.
Gallbladder surgery is very, very common. We fix hernias. We put ports in. We remove all sorts of other lesions. We do vasectomies here. I don't think the public really knows that.
So if you've been putting off a procedure, it's only a quick phone call away.
I recommend that if they have a primary care doctor, they keep that doctor in the loop. But all they have to do is either call their doctor's office or call my office and ask to be scheduled, and they get scheduled.
Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center. Your health, our passion.
Dan Hardenbrooks, Coach Jeff Puckett, glad to be back with you here in Pickford. The Bennon Field 22-8 Panthers. They're marching again, a huge goal line stand on their last defensive series. Keep up with everything MHSAA on social media. You can look us up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for tournament updates, event announcements, video highlights, high school sports news from around the state. The best way to connect with the MHSAA every day.
Norway sending backers now, trying to get the ball back. Kind of guessing. You know, if you live and die with the blitz, then you live and you die with the blitz.
So you got to go down, fight, and go down on the sword here if you're Norway.
You want that ball back with only
what?
1 quarter to go.
No sense saving anything for next week when next week is not guaranteed.
That's right.
You can worry about next week when you get there.
You're getting the basketball out next week. Pickford to the line. Double tight now, single back in the backfield.
Pickford right to left here. Oh, nice flow to the football.
Good
I tell you what,
defense there.
Pop, you mentioned Canerva, who's been beat up. He's not going to quit playing.
Tough kid.
It's a brick wall with legs, 44. Hudamaki.
So it's going to bring up fourth down for the Panthers.
Norway's season
4th and 3.
may hang on this right here.
Pickford's been able to convert.
They have had the ball.
They're showing punt
for less than a minute here in the second half of the Knights. Snap on the way. The boot. Field position game for Raider. Nobody deep back. Takes a roll for the Panthers and out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Good kick. Good spot.
They flipped the
Norway's going to have to move it twice the length of the field here in the fourth. And Coach Josh Raider is going to trust his defense, which doesn't get the credit it deserves. A lot of attention on Story and Bennett and Masiak in this high-powered offense.
Well, I got to
one of the best defensive units you'll see.
I got to believe Pickford's coming out throwing here, Dan.
Big, strong, physical, and fast. They broke the seal finally earlier, late in the second quarter, and then early in the third.
They've had success there. Let's see if Pickford what they do to handle it here.
We're at the 3 on their last drive. Pickford knocked it out, took it over. Taking forever.
Pickford's still in that 4-man front. I'm watching
Nobody's
the back,
counting
Judge.
Down.
To see if he raises a hand. Been a long time.
Motion here. They're going to look straight, quick drop. Throw, hands, batted up, intercepted.
Intercepted.
Oh,
my
Brown,
gosh, what a
that's
play for
it.
the Panthers.
58 with the catch.
The defensive play of the game right there, McDonald.
Brown
Eli McDonald
gets his hands up.
The big man just reached up and grabbed it.
Coached lineman for a very long time. That's not an old man joke.
Oh, man, that's an exciting time for our linemen.
How often do you work on that or tell your guys, if you can't get there, get your hands up?
We do work on it. We do. Well,
batted back in the face of McDonald. It's a gift in his lap from the 12. Story
picks up a couple right in the middle. Following right behind 22 Seth Miller.
And the difference in this ball game may end up being that Pickford played with the football for 4 quarters and Norway only played with it for 2. That is less than a minute time of possession. Only 3 plays here in the second half. I've never seen anything like it in 8-man football.
10 minutes to go, 22-8 Pickford. Double tight. One back to the right of Story. The Seth. Give to Seth, twist and turns.
Down
picks
to
up
the
some.
5. They can get a first down. It'll be 3rd and about 2. And that might actually be better than just plowing it into the end zone here at this point.
Keep that clock running.
3rd and 3 for the Pickford Panthers.
And Pickford has had some people asking if they can get stops or if they can make stands. High-scoring games with Rudyard, Newberry, St. Ignace.
Sure.
The second straight meeting between these two teams where Pickford has just completely taken Norway out of the game in the second half. Oh, no problem. Story just smacks into his own man, bounces off like a rubber band, falls forward, 4th and less than a yard.
He collided with Miller in the backfield and then just tucked it and went in the middle and got some.
So
4th and 1, Daniel.
From the 3, you have hard count here. You have Rounds getting the play call. So you could go or you could just put it on the shoulders of your horse.
That's where I'm putting it. Right on him, right behind that big offensive line, behind that center, Eli McDonald.
Double
and
tight.
let him go in.
Miller's the back with Story.
Story there to lead block.
Under 10. Takes it.
He does.
Straight forward. First down.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. He
And
comes
more.
out the other side. Oh, and it is clutch time now. Gut check time for the Knights.
28-8.
8:01 to go.
We've seen the boot twice with success for PATs. Let's see what Coach Rader pulls out of the playbook for this one. Same formation with that double wing to the right. Story deep alone.
You might counter off of that.
I would. Shotgun formation.
Timeout.
Ooh.
Somebody.
So we use a timeout here. That brings them down to one timeout.
I think that would be the only disappointment if you're Josh Rader with the second half right now. He's had to burn 2.
But it's worked out both times for him. So I'd be surprised if we don't see success out of it again. You never want to take those as a coach unless you absolutely have to. You want to save them. But Rader must have said, hey, there's a problem there, and I want this extra point.
30-8 if they get it.
To make it a 3 full score game.
Yeah, you're going to have to get 2 2-point conversions.
So this is big here.
Out of a 3-score series with 8 minutes to go. They can do it.
We've seen that Norway
scored
offense
3 times
explosive
in the last 5 minutes last week.
Same formation, Dano. Double wing to the right. Story alone in the backfield in the shotgun. McDonald over the ball at the center. Ready to accept the ball. Here comes Norway on the stand. Snap. Throws
it out. He couldn't get his feet set. Good pressure.
Good
off
pressure.
of the edge by the Knights. That was jailhouse blitz.
Yeah, everybody was coming.
So a stop there, 28-8. Step 1 for Norway. Now the Knights with all 3 timeouts, 8:01 to go. They've ran 3 plays here in the fourth quarter, but they've been a couple of big successful ones.
So we'll see here the situation. 8:01 to go. 28-8 Panthers as they get ready to kick off to the Knights. Someone just brought us food. Or brought you food.
No, us.
Well, that's awful kind.
I'll give the announcement after the kick.
I was going to say, they must not know us. Thank you, officer. Anybody?
Have you ever said that before?
Well, anybody has a gun, I treat him with respect. I'll tell you that. A nice kick. Again.
Oh, fell down.
Norway just can't seem to get things going here. They need something good to happen to them.
And now they're pinned at the 17. So the Pickford Booster Club is running a pasty sale.
Oh,
they will be here today until 6 o'clock.
Wow.
So stop by.
Absolutely stop by.
They had a table going on, but stop by the school here in Pickford.
Oh, my. Those smell good.
Get your pasties. They're $6.
Well worth it, my friends. Stop by and
that's the best
cause.
advertising payment I think I've ever seen.
That's right. Help the cause.
Yeah.
Stop by, pick up some pasties for the ride home.
You can heat them up when you come back next week.
That's right.
Deep ball. Wanted it. Incomplete. Just out of the reach of Owen By. Look at Rader. He doesn't know any lead safe. He will coach you until the whistle. And after the whistle. And in between the whistle.
Yes, he was. He saw what I saw, and he was behind. That receiver was behind us.
I don't know if there's a coaching staff with a higher blood pressure than Gard Kangas and Josh Rader.
My blood pressure's up, and I'm not even coaching in the game.
The Panthers.
2nd and 10 now, Dano. Does stop the clock and gives them some time.
Have gone deep safety with Gunnar Bennon. He's playing almost 15 yards off the ball. Soft coverage on the edge.
3-man rush.
They don't want to get beat deep. Oh, pop.
My.
Right through his hands on a deep flag. And Josh Rader.
Open again. Was the receiver. Rader's halfway out on the field shaking his head at his defense.
He's about as red as your Coke bottle.
He is.
So again, the Pickford Booster Club pasty sale. Come on down. They'll
Get
be
on
until 6
down.
o'clock tonight.
Absolutely. Take advantage of that. Help out the cause. Get yourself a great E.U.P delight.
Went from no popcorn to pasties.
We did pretty good. So, Pickford.
32 here.
3rd and 10.
Actually, a 31.
To go.
They'll drop 5 into coverage. Almost
Swing
batted
pass.
it down again. Nice play, Story. Knocks the man out of bounds. E.U.P. It's 4th down in game for the Knights here.
7:35 to go and running.
They went 3-man front and then dropped 1 linebacker, 4 guys over the top in coverage, and they're just building the wall at that first down marker. Panthers will go Miller at the nose with Rader and Brown up front. McDonald's the only linebacker.
3-man rush.
They're deep ball. Oh, Pop got free.
Open.
Hauled it in left side to the 30, to the 20.
Bennett
Gunner
catches
Bennett,
him.
fumble.
And the Panthers jump on it.
No signal. Out of bounds, I think. Just barely
down,
got out of
Knights.
bounds. One
That's
extra
that
roll.
explosive passing offense. The first 2 passes, they got behind the Pickford defenders. That time they got behind it. They got him the ball this time. He caught it. What a nice game for the Knights.
4th and 7. They get almost 70.
6:56.
That changes everything again.
What a game, back and forth. We know how explosive this Norway offense can be.
And they've done it against basically a prevent defense.
Pickford is back there.
Yep.
Only a 3-man rush. They're not really getting any pressure on that quarterback.
They've been rushing 3, dropping 4 out past Ortman wide. Good pressure there. They got to him that time, and Bai had to rush it out. 6:53 to go. 28-8. Probably feels like an eternity for the Panthers.
Big Ian Brown that time with his size got in and tried to knock that ball down and put some pressure on the quarterback of Norway. Still 6:53. 28-8. Panthers lead, but Norway on the drive and on their way in. Can Pickford hold?
Snap. Oh, little stop and go. And over the top, McConkey and Story, there's just nowhere to go. And Bai, his initial route was taken away, and he just had to throw that out of the back of the end zone.
I would expect to see that cross route, that pattern when they send one receiver down the middle and the other 2 cross.
They went stop and go with the outside guy that time.
I saw that.
Little
stop and go.
Little hitch into the back
Hitch
route.
and then turn and sprinted on the fade.
But what happened there is then you basically had 3 guys. You couldn't lead the deep post because you would have brought a 3rd defender into the pass play. So you've either got to go deep back, which he tried to do, or come back short, and there was nothing. Draw here for Bai.
Stuffed.
Just wrapped up. Ball came out, but he's down. Timeout, Norway.
That's Norway's first timeout. They got 2 left now, Dano.
Scott Pop
Pickford has 1.
calls it here. 6:38 to go. Or 36.
Timeout from the Norway Knights.
Big thank you to all of you spending part of your Saturday with us. Pulled in, and Coach, you went, my goodness. A beautiful Saturday for high school football. If you're not going to play under the lights, this is about as good as you could ask for.
Here, absolutely, Dano. And
no excuses. The weather not a factor. It's 2 great teams getting to decide this thing.
It is.
Been clean football, not a ton of penalties. Only the few turnovers we've seen have been biggies.
Panthers playing almost a perfect game. No penalties yet.
And this is the tough part about playoff football. Norway's probably playing a B-plus game. But when there's only 8 teams left,
B-plus sometimes isn't good enough.
Stop. I heard a whistle.
I did too from somewhere.
That's big. It's 4th down here. So what do you do?
Is that an inadvertent whistle?
Guard King says, hey, 1st down, man.
Inadvertent whistle should be replayed.
That's what they'll do. And
4th and
Norway,
4.
I think that was a touchdown.
Yeah.
So 4th and 3. They converted one already on this drive. The Knights would get it back if they can get a stop, but there won't be much time left.
They have 2 timeouts
It
left.
would have to be about a 3 and out.
Huge play for the Knights here.
They're looking end zone. Back corner. Push off.
That's got to be pass interference.
Oh, it's a touchdown.
Wow.
Ortman.
Wow, I
Comes
thought
up
that
big.
would be that would be
Wow.
offensive pass interference, but it's not called.
I've seen
Okay.
every possible form of pass interference called this year. And when I think I know, I don't know. Big score for the
Touchdown,
Knights.
huge touchdown for the Knights.
Big 2-point conversion to get
Very
it to 10.
big here.
They're going to need.
They'll need this.
Yep.
They'll need 2 scores regardless. And they've got to stop this high-powered offense of the Panthers. 6:27 to go. 28-14 now. Knights line it up.
They're going to go empty. Or no, bring a guy back in.
Twinge left, split right. Snap.
There it is.
Wide open
Just a
over the
quick
middle
slant.
on a quick slant. You're right, Dano. 28-16. 6:27 to go. And let's see if Norway tries that onside kick here or what they do with their special team play.
Do you try to pin them deep first with the 2 timeouts? They're running it either way.
Yeah. They want to keep this clock running.
I mean, it was a perfect executed onside kick at the end of the game last week. And it was not misplayed by Newberry. But what they did is they kicked it to the side with 3 guys. They sent 2 of them in the kicker at the Newberry recovery man, drove him 5 yards back off the ball.
And jumped on it.
And the last man in jumped on it. They've got 4 to the near side here, 3 to the far side. That's the side they kicked to last week, was right side.
Pickford up tight. They're ready.
They go back to the left. Second level, bobbled,
Fielded well.
And guess who?
You get who
Tommy
that
Story.
is. Tommy Story.
He goes, I'll take that. Thank you very much. I'm
So,
going to be hanging on to it anyway.
1st and 10 Panthers. They have great field position at about the 44-yard line.
I will give Norway this. It is one resilient bunch.
They continue to play hard. They continue to
Every time
successful.
Newberry made a run, took the lead, came back to tie it, they answered last week. And they were down and out earlier in this half, and they're firing back again.
Here comes everybody.
They bring 7. They get Story at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
And the clock continues to run.
Got to be careful, though.
I would, too, because if you can bust through that, there's no one there to tackle Story, and he's going to be off to the races.
And we know Pickford uses their misdirection
pretty well.
You run a little option off of that or a fake, and you counter back. Gunnar Bennett and Cale Maciag are gone. They're going to split one outside here. The other 7 are probably coming. They're within 3 yards of the ball.
Here they come, everybody.
Sweep outside.
Story
big
on
block.
the outside. He's got the corner.
2 big blocks. And Story heads up, stays in bounds. Maciag,
what a block. Hooks the defensive end. Allows Story to get the corner. And a big first down for the Panthers.
Seth Miller had the other one. They had 1 to get the corner and 1 to spring them. And the little guys are laying the lumber here for Pickford. First down. And now Norway will have to use their timeouts. They need 2 scores. They've had the ball for about 4 total minutes of game time.
You can't give up too many more first downs here and stay in the game. The snap.
Pressure again.
Low
snap. Story
Picks
bottled up. Loss of 3.
Second down.
That's getting to the center there. They're blitzing both A gaps.
They're bringing everybody.
With a 50. So that center's got 5 guys that he's looking at while he's trying to snap the ball. And then he's got to figure out who to block.
Eli McDonald doing a nice job up front, but the cards are on the table for him.
Oh, good spot for the Panthers. Look at that.
That was a
Back
good
to
spot.
the line of scrimmage.
So
Forward
second and 10.
Ball just outside the 40. Pickford on the plus side of the field, marching towards the parking lot.
Story alone in the backfield, in the shotgun. Snap. Dives it into the middle.
Oh,
Picks
second
up
level. They broke him.
15 yards.
Bennon Rounds just took his guy straight to the sideline, away from the play again. Not a guy just taking a snap off.
Blocked him right out of the picture. So another first down for the Panthers.
It doesn't matter for Pickford.
4:05 and ticking down.
If you are 6'2" and 200 plus, or if you are 5'8", 140, you're blocking.
You're blocking your tail off.
And they look way better blocking, second level especially, than we've seen in any of the Pickford games that we've done.
In any Pickford game.
Their line play.
Off to the weak side.
Their big hosses came to play today.
Nice tackle that time in there by number 21, Hayden Munson.
Yep. McDonald, Rader, Miller. Rounds has played some tight end today. MHSAA.
Just blocking tough inside. Braylon Rounds brings the play in.
And those 3 guys on the back end, Bennon, MHSAA, McConkey.
Tommy Story alone again in the backfield in the shotgun. Twins to the right. Double tight.
MHSAA's at tight end here.
Here comes Norway.
Bring the pressure.
Story just picking himself, keeping the clock running.
Don't fight. Just protect the football. Big stop for Norway. Ball came out in a scrum there in the Knights.
Timeout. They're going to burn one.
Third down.
That leaves them with 1 left.
And about 4.
To conserve some time and take a timeout. You have 2 minutes and 42 seconds left in the game. Pickford Panthers 28, Norway Knights 16.
Always love to give student sections credit. The Norway cheerleaders are on the track here in front of the bleachers in Pickford. Student section had enough. They got up at halftime and went down and stood on the 3 lanes of the track right behind their bench.
And been traveling back and forth.
Third and 3. Ball on the 16. A first down just about does it. And we get an official timeout here.
They want to talk about something.
Side judge wants to talk to the white hat.
Well, if they're trying to nail down the number of timeouts, they do have 1 on each side.
I think you're right, Josh Rader. That's what he was asking. Norway yelling not to jump. They've been very aggressive, bringing heat.
And they've caught him a couple times.
But if they jump offsides on a hard count, it's ball game. Straight ahead, Story. First down.
He's in. So that'll keep the clock running. A new set of downs for the Panthers.
Once they spot the ball.
They lead 28-16 with 2:38 and ticking to go, Dan, as you said.
They're going to need a turnover now.
Tick.
Can't quite kneel on it. Rounds takes his time. Josh Rader sends in the play and says, don't hurry.
Take your time, hang on to the ball, and let's head to the end zone.
They won't have to run far to ring the bell if they finish it out here. They are headed towards that north end zone. All out pressure.
Bennett.
Miller. Pickford
Stays in bounds.
Continues to adapt. In the 11th game of the season.
Getting better every play, this group of kids.
145.
These young men are just, I don't think we've seen them peak yet, Dan.
Well, that's bad news for whoever's in the way the next 2 weeks. Miller.
Goal! He's in the end zone.
Dagger. And the Panthers are going to be back here at home next week.
Everybody went with Story off to the left, but he snuck it in, gave it to Miller.
I tell you what, if there's a kid that deserved a touchdown.
It's that kid right there. What a game he's had.
1:18 to go. 34-16. It's going to look a lot like their win in Rudyard last week. Tight throughout. And a late touchdown to break it open. And Norway going to have a long trip back. They can celebrate their season. It'll feel bitter. But hopefully they enjoy the moment. Fumble. Scooped up. Big hit there. Gunnar Bennon on a toss sweep. Gets absolutely blown up. Now, I've seen some crazy things in my time.
That's true.
34-16.
The
problem is they'll need 3.
They'll need 3 with
and
the
that's
extra
where
points.
Conversions come into play. If you needed 2, you got a shot here.
Well, we'll see how Norway reacts. We know they can throw the ball, and that's what we're going to see because there's no quitting this Norway team. But this Pickford team has played well, Daniel. They played mistake-free football up to this point, and I expect nothing less than to finish the game that way. I don't think they've had a penalty. They haven't jumped.
Their
holding.
Their one penalty got waved off
with them calling timeout. Their special teams, they executed well. They've tackled well. They got to get better at covering the pass, Daniel. That's where they could run into trouble, and I'm sure Coach Rader's going to work on that even more this week. A nice kick again.
Slipped and fell. And you mentioned, we got some shoving going after.
21 fell down on the ball. The Pickford man came in and landed on top of him pretty hard. They're going to call a personal foul with unnecessary roughness.
I think they're going to offset here. Because I think the swing or the shove by Edmondson.
I didn't see the shove.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right, Daniel.
There it is, offset.
And that's going to be first
Temper
down.
just flaring there.
One for Pickford, one for Norway. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Norway Knights at the 24-yard line.
Well,
I'll give the Norway coaches credit. They're chewing some tail over there.
Yes, they are.
That's not how we want to go out.
That's right. You coaching all the time. Coach Rader shaking his head. He's always working the officials. I like that.
He is now the longest tenured coach left in the east end of the U.P. and the wins leader. Boy, and
he's
I
got
think
this
back
program rolling.
The tournament that they had taken away a few years ago, where they came
what
back.
What a catch!
Great catch on the sideline.
Or did he drop it? He dropped it.
He hung on.
Boy, I thought he had it.
He landed out of bounds. We can't see what's left to the far sideline than Pickford.
Brings up 2nd down. Now for the Knights.
Last year, I think, his first miss, Josh Rader. them and Rudyard were the two teams first left out, 17 and 18.
Mm.
And he went right back to work.
He's got this program rolling, Dano, through all levels.
This is going to be their third semifinal trip in the last 4 years. Deep ball, intercepted by Bennon. Will they give him the pick? They will. He lost it rolling over. And it's lights out.
That should take care of it, Dano.
It'll be 2 kneel downs.
And
a regional championship. Unsportsmanlike on the Knights.
I think that's going to come against the bench.
Coach Pop's not happy. I was not paying attention to see if that was a player or if there was anything late or.
I was watching. It looked like
off the sideline. I was watching
like
Pickford.
The coach had some things to say. I think that's going to be against the bench. There's some frustration there.
Well, they beat just about everybody except this team. They're going to finish 8-3 with 2 losses to
with a pretty great
Pickford,
season.
who might win it all.
Sportsmanlike conduct flag on the Norway Knights, possibly for being on the field. It sets up 1st and 10 for the Pickford Panthers at the 46-yard line.
They're arguing the interception still. They want incomplete pass on the pick, and they came out on the field to yell at the officials, and it's kneel down time. Rounds.
Lines up in victory formation.
So the Panthers will be back here at home against Indian River Inland Lakes. I'm going to look. I do not believe they've played. No, it was Gaylord St. Mary's from down below that the Panthers played. Close win over St. Ignace last night for the Bulldogs. Saw them in a preseason scrimmage. That is a solid outfit.
Yes.
The Northern Lower has not had a good history in the past couple of years against the Eastern U.P. And that game next week will be for a spot in the state championship at the Superior Dome, Saturday, November 18th.
And that will be right back here next week.
Semifinals are here. Pickford was number 3 in playoff points. They would have had to go to St. Ignace if the Saints had won last night. And a regional championship celebration on your home field in front of your own fans. The rest of the weekend going to be a joy. Tough to see Norway's season end. That's my least favorite part about playoff time, is that there's a pretty good team on the other side.
Somebody's putting them away.
Packing up their gear and calling it a season. But the Panthers earned this thing with total control in the second half.
Absolutely, Dan. We don't know when or what day that game will be. It's going to be Friday or Saturday.
That's right.
The two teams will have to get together and discuss that and come up with that information. We'll get that out to you as soon as you can on M123. Be watching our Facebook site. You can also get that through the MHSAA site.
Yeah. Yep. That will be posted to follow Pickford Public Schools. They'll post the information as soon as they get it. They may have it before they even leave here.
Will we be back here next week then, Dan?
That will depend.
That will depend. Okay.
That will depend on if it's Friday night, we'll be here. If it's Saturday, we'll try to be here. We'll just try to figure out that part. So Pickford going to celebrate. Congratulations to the Panthers, 34-16. We'll step aside. It is high school football on the E.U.P Sports Network.